can't wait.
I'm here to have real conversations, to hear from the people on the front lines of the social justice movement. The time to talk about it is now. It can't wait. Welcome to It Can't Wait. It's time to learn more about the Innocence Project. I caught up with two amazing people from this organization and an incredible man who spent almost 20 years of his life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Let's get to it. Now, Huey, I'm glad we can have you on because, you're proof and living proof that the system works. How was it to be able to, one, have your case picked up, from the Innocence Project, and how emotional, how tough was it to know that you were wrongly convicted of the murder of your family?
It was a lot to bear, and it was one of the things that I think that really kept me motivated. And while there, I realized that if I didn't continue to keep fighting, if I didn't stay engaged and try to reach out to people and let people know what was going on with me, I knew that it would never change. So to be in there with that kind of weight, it was very. Some days were more unbearing than others, and I'm just thankful that there were organizations such as the Innocence Project that heard me and took up the mantle and helped me fight to get to that day in 2019, and to reach that day with such a burden that was lifted off. So I'm definitely thankful.
How do we fix the system if those who are convicted can't afford bond, can't afford proper representation?
Well, there are so many aspects of this system that need to be fixed. But I think part of why people are not able to receive the kind of representation that they deserve is that we have such a huge volume-based system. America sort of has a devotion to incarceration when you compare it to the rest of the world. We have 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prison population. And so, it just stands to reason that it's going to be incredibly difficult to provide extraordinary representation to the numbers of people that we put behind bars in this country. So I think in order to address it, one big piece is to really, shrink the size of the system, and then really focus on parity when it comes to providing defense services. Because as we know, the prosecution has the police working often with them, and defender offices often have just a couple of investigators stretched over tons of cases. So all of this needs to be revisited, and we really need to see parity when it comes to, legal representation.
How do we get more people there, more resources? Because there's so many different Hueys that are around that story hasn't been told or heard, and also that they just lose hope and doesn't continue to have the strength that Huey had to continue to fight.
Folks are welcome and encouraged to go to our website, which is www.innocenceproject.org, and you can learn more about the work that we do and the ways that you can support us. But I would say one example of ways that you can support us is, first, you can get engaged in sort of the work that we are doing to prevent wrongful convictions. On the website, you can find, where we have policy campaigns, where we're pushing different kinds of legislation across the country. We are encouraging states, for example, to provide compensation to people who have been wrongfully convicted. We're encouraging states, for example, to make sure that police are not allowed to lie to people when they're interrogating them, right? There's all kinds of legislation that we are moving across the country. And if you go to the website, you can see ways of getting involved and supporting those kinds of reforms that are necessary to end wrongful conviction in this country.
Now, Hugh, one thing that money can't buy back is time. And I see the keyboard behind you and being able, is that your peace? And what gives you peace now? And how is the reacclimation back to a world that is, I'm assuming, is extremely different than the one that you left when you went in?
Yes, there are a few things that give me peace. Music, as you see, is definitely one. Running is something that has always given me peace. It was something that I did while I was away, along with music. and doing what I do right now, because, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there were guys sitting in prison, saying that they were innocent, and no one could hear them. No one wanted to hear them. The political climate of the day, pretty much, if you're there, you're guilty. These things like prison reform and these platforms like this were non-existent, so to see that for me, it's really great. It's really great. So it was, doing that really brings me a peace of mind. That, along with music and running.
What does this marriage look like going forward?
Well, the partnership means everything to us, because until, the world understands the phenomenon of wrongful conviction, until, sort of the broader American community understands this problem, we're still going to be fighting this battle. And so having the Jets working with us to educate the public really brings us, much closer to the finish line of this fight.
Well, as a former athlete, I love this program, and I've always been a fan of it, and see the stories. And it's great to have you on, Huey, to see the humanity and the joy that you have within your eyes. And I'm so excited that, we can continue to do this work. This is important work, and, no one should be wrongfully convicted. And I'm so inspired, and it's hard to trip me up with words, but this is one that I was excited about, because I understand, coming from the inner cities of Detroit, what it can feel like to be telling the truth and to be denied justice. And hopefully that this is something that can be picked up in all 32 states in which the NFL is a part of, so you can get the resources to do the work, so that people that, deserve to be free and to chase their dreams can have the opportunity to live the American dream. Wow, what a great conversation. What tremendous work has been done by the Innocence Project to seek justice for those who are wrongfully convicted. In the next episode, we'll get to know Year Up, a national nonprofit that provides young adults with skills, experience, and the support to reach their full potential. See you next time.